in our Frankenstein Mac. I did buy a new battery online, however it actually didn't end up working, so for now I'll have to make do with the original. This includes the trackpad, which I'm hoping is undamaged. The old casing was pretty bent, meaning the trackpad wouldn't click. And here's hoping the mechanism isn't damaged. These cost about $50 secondhand on eBay. I'm also taking out these exhaust funnels as surprisingly enough they're in better condition than the ones on the new chassis. And that's every usable part from the old casing. Perhaps I'll auction off this iconic hunk of e-waste if people are interested. Now to remove the working display from the parts laptop I purchased. It's honestly so surprising how much one of these screens costs still if you're going to buy one on its own. I was searching for ages to find a suitable machine like this one honestly. If it doesn't have any irreparable faults, I may be able to reuse this logic board here for a future project as well. It's now time for a much needed board dust off. Most of all, I don't understand how so much dust can build up in the ports. Aside from the battery, these MacBooks are super easy to take apart, thankfully. If you've been running one of these for a few years, cleaning out the fans is a good place to start. They should push air a little better now. These fans weren't so much full of dust, but rather dirt somehow. I did ask a seller if they knew how this laptop got so damaged and, well, they didn't get back to me. The new top casing had also seen some serious usage, but thankfully it wasn't dented or really damaged in any way. Whoever takes these machines apart and sells them for parts on eBay must be making a good amount of money, since they're probably getting mostly complete functional units for next to nothing through e-waste. I then put all the components into the new housing, which was super easy. I then loosely tightened the screen hinge screws. I did this so I could close the display, then line up both halves of the laptop precisely. With the edges lining up, I applied some thread locker to the hinges and then did up the screws tightly. Until I can source a working replacement battery, I'll simply tape the old one back into the casing. So let's see how it turned out. And thankfully the display along with the backlight was working. The soldering I had to do had definitely set me back in both time